Oh, I used to count, you know.
Count what?
Number of drinks I had at a wedding. Oh, there's such a terrible urge to overindulge. By counting, I could always pace myself. There's always 2 before the slicing of the cake and 3 afterwards. I don't know, something went awfully wrong today.
Well, if it's any comfort, you don't seem drunk.
Well, not now, perhaps. An hour ago I was. Now fatigue is settling in. Next comes sleepiness, and tomorrow morning, that dreadful hangover.
It's vicious.
Pink.
I'm sorry?
What?
Quentin's boxer shorts, they're pink.
No. Finally got him to bed, huh?
It's like wrestling a water buffalo into the sack. And that snoring, it's a combination of a bandsaw and a lawnmower gone wrong.
The man definitely does like to drink, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's too bad he can't hold it.
Oh, come on. Give him a break. I mean, this wasn't exactly a typical wedding.
Yeah, but you would think as father of the bride, he might have a little bit more restraint. I mean, how many toasts did we have?
7. If you count that one that he made to the pony that he gave Celia when she was 5.
Look, aside from everything, the only thing that matters, Celia is married.
I must say it's a miracle, considering what almost happened.
Just imagine 2 men fighting over you the day of your wedding.
Lucky for us, the right man won.
Here we are, Mrs. Putnam.
Mrs. Putnam. Oh, very impressive, Doctor.
Well, I hope you're not disappointed. I requested one with a heart-shaped bed, but they didn't have one.
No ceiling mirror either.
No, but you still have me.
Making me about the luckiest girl in the world, I guess. Darling?
Yes?
I think it would probably be all right to put me down now.
Oh.
We are safely over the threshold, and the tradition doesn't say how long you have to hold me.
Well, just so long as it's not bad luck or anything.
No, I think we're all right.
Very well, then. I warned you about that last glass of champagne.
Well, next time I promise I'll listen to the doctor.
What do we do now?
Well, tradition prescribes that I slip into something more comfortable.
I'd hate to buck tradition.
Darling, you know, after everything that happened, it was still the perfect wedding.
Yes, perfect.
Yes?
It's me.
Finally. I've been waiting hours.
Well, I couldn't very well call from the reception. This is really the first opportunity I've had.
I assume you have something favorable to report?
Yes, it was a lovely wedding.
No slip-ups.
Oh, well, a few close calls, but nothing to worry about.
What about the happy couple?
The vows were exchanged. Everything is now legal and binding.
Very good. Very good. That completes the first step.
Yes. Now on to the next step.
I assume the next step is procuring the disc.
Well, unfortunately, we still have to wait. Gerald hasn't finished working on it yet.
Any timetable available?
It shouldn't be long.
We can't risk their moving it.
No, I know. Arrangements have been made so that we'll know the moment it's completed.
What about the security system?
Grant has the security card and the security key, so he can get into Gerald's lab at a moment's notice.
Now, you said arrangements have been made, so we'll know the exact moment.
Well, Grant is working on being taken into Gerald's confidence so that Gerald will tell Grant himself when the time comes.
You're absolutely sure?
As I said, Grant is working on it. It shouldn't be long before I can be almost certain to be able to guarantee it to you, yes.
Almost is not good enough.
I think that Grant making Gerald his best man is what cinches it. They've really become quite close, and Gerald is opening up to Grant more and more every day.
And yet, we still do not know exactly how far along Gerald is on the project.
We are almost to that point.
What is left?
Grant putting more subtle pressure on Gerald.
Okay, I want him to begin immediately.
He can't, Yuri.
That was not a request.
I know, but Grant can't do anything until he comes back from his honeymoon. Yuri, are you still there?
You know I was opposed to that honeymoon idea from the beginning.
I explained the reasoning to you.
The fact that most American couples go on honeymoon is simply no excuse. The project is too important to be interrupted by silly customs. No, an excuse should have been invented to keep Grant in town.
Yuri, I didn't think it was worth the risk.
What risk?
Of detection. You yourself said that our identities being kept secret is of paramount importance. Doing anything out of the ordinary to attract attention to us is what we don't need at this particular juncture in time.
Then you should have found some place closer than Chile.
It's what they decided. And Grant's whole cover depends upon him being married to Celia. As you well know, the success of this relies on Grant doing everything at the Quartermaine's request.
Alan, you're always saying things like that. You never make any sense.
So what? What are you saying, that I'm not a very good judge of character?
I'm saying that you've already said that you misjudged Grant.
What difference does that make? I mean, at least I had the hindsight to recognize I'd made a mistake.
Oh,
Look, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what the hell are you two talking about?
we're talking about Grant, of course.
Yeah, I realize that, but precisely what are you referring to?
His character.
We never thought he was going to be strong enough to handle Celia.
Well, so what's the argument?
Well, there isn't an argument. We're both agreeing that he's a lot tougher than we thought he was.
Well, no, either I need another drink or to go to bed. I don't know which.
What are you saying, that Grant has not turned out to be all right?
Oh, the boy's a hit. I never doubted that. Thank goodness. I wish you two could have been there when he decked old Jimmy Lee. That was a beautiful sight, right up there with a view from the Eiffel Tower or a dividend check. Really beautiful.
I can't condone physical violence.
What?
Of course, in certain cases, I'd make an exception.
Well, I think the Torp had it coming to him. I just wish they'd charge him with kidnapping along with a sore jaw.
Well, thank the good Lord they didn't. I mean, we can't risk Jimmy Lee getting too angry. He might take it out on all the Quartermaines by showing up with those papers.
You're still worried about that, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I think we all should be.
Father's right. If that information got out, old Quentin Pinkshorts could wind up the whole family fortune.
Yeah, right after dear cousin Herbert checked out for greener pastures.
Yes, and when Quentin Pinkshorts checks out, considering his drinking habits and unctuous behavior, could be very soon, Celia gets all the money.
Yeah, so you can see the necessity of directing Jimmy Lee's anger towards Celia, not toward ourselves.
I'm not sure I do see that.
Well, think, Alan. As long as Jimmy Lee is mad at Celia, we're all safe.
Yeah. On the other hand, if they started teaming up together...
We'd be dead.
He's catching on, Monica.
Well, I think that the obvious answer is for us to find a permanent solution.
My dear boy, there is no permanent solution until we get those papers.
So what are we going to do?
About what?
Keeping Celia and Jimmy Lee apart.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about that. Not right now, anyway.
You mean as long as they're married?
Yeah, happily married. It's up to us to ensure that. As long as Grant has a happy relationship, I think he's going to keep Celia from straying.
Would anyone like a woman's opinion?
Well, it all depends on what that woman's opinion is.
My opinion is that Celia is not going to be straying any longer. From everything I have seen, Celia is very much in love with Grant.
Love? What the devil has that got to do with it?
Edward, the way the proceedings are going at the moment, it has everything to do with it.
Incredible.
You like it?
Like what?
Well, this silly, what I'm wearing.
Oh, it's great. But you're better.
You know, it's very strange, but I'm nervous.
What can I do?
Hold me.
How's that?
Better.
God, you're so beautiful. I really can't get over it.
Then you are not sorry you came back to the church?
Of course not.
May I explain?
Go ahead.
It was all just some elaborate scheme that Jimmy Lee cooked up. I still don't know the details, but I do know that he really didn't mean any real harm. He just wanted to scare me.
That sounds almost like you defending him.
No, 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 no. What he did was terrible. I mean, he kidnapped me. But he didn't intend to hurt me or to force me into anything.
Did you lead him on?
Grant,
Celia, I know there was something between you two.
That was a long time ago, and it was never anything serious.
What exactly was it then?
I don't know. Just a passing fancy. Maybe something that had to happen before we were married.
In other words, it was your idea?
Maybe in the beginning. Yes, I suppose I led him on, but I never meant for it to get so carried away. Oh, please don't be angry.
I'm not.
It is over.
For good? It won't happen again?
Never, I promise. Grant, I could never have married you if I thought that it was ever going to happen again.
You're beautiful.
Only for you.
No. For everyone who lays eyes on you.
All I want, Grant, is for you to love me as I love you.
You're up early?
Morning.
Why didn't you stay in bed a bit longer? We had a late night last night.
Unfortunately, that doesn't make all the errands I have to do today go away.
Forget about all of that. Spend the day with me.
I'd love to, but you know what they say, putting off to today what...
All of those things you don't want to do anyway.
Well, if I don't do my errands today, then what do I do?
Talk to your husband.
About?
All right, let's pick a subject. There's the economy. There's the yo-yo craze in Bulgaria. There's the platypus races in Ballarat.
How about Celia's wedding?
That's certainly topical.
I thought it was, unusual.
My kind of turn, lots of booze. What about this Quentin character?
A true Quartermaine, I'd say.
Oh, how many toasts did that guy propose?
I think he was just glad to get the whole thing over and done with.
Yeah, I think we all were, considering the fact that it almost never got started. What happened at that church?
You saw, didn't you?
Well, Jimmy Lee got a smack in the mouth, I suppose, from the groom, presumably for reasons of jealousy.
Right. Celia was once interested in Jimmy Lee, but it was just a fling. And apparently, Jimmy Lee couldn't take no for an answer.
Well, I guess he'll have to now. She's made her choice clear to one and all.
What does that mean?
What?
You said that Celia has made her choice clear. Are you implying that I haven't?
Oh, come on, what is this? It was meant to be a joke.
But what were you implying, Robert?
Look, I wasn't trying to draw any comparison here. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Your choice is clear to me. That's all that matters.
I know, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you.
I kind of liked it.
Really?
Sort of like pinching oneself to make sure you're not dreaming.
I'll have to remember that. Anyway, the important thing is Celia and Grant are married, and they're safely in each other's arms. Grant.
Must be our honeymoon.
We're looking for someone.
I'm sorry, but Dr. Putnam isn't in today.
It hurts so bad, though, I just gotta see him.
Is there some way we can reach the doctor? He performed the original surgery, and with this emergency, we'd like him to see it right away.
It feels as though there's been some separation or something. He's in terrible pain.
We'd get Dr. Putnam right away, but he's on his honeymoon. There are other doctors who could look at that hand.
I want Grant.
Oh,
Chris, I know how much you like Dr. Putnam, but the other doctor really is just as qualified. And if it is an emergency, it's not a good idea to wait.
Yeah, well, I still want Grant. He understands.
Isn't there any way we can reach him?
I'm afraid not, Mrs. Jennings. Hi, Chris.
A problem?
I don't know. I guess I overdid it practicing. My hand is killing me.
He can barely move his thumb.
What did Dr. Putnam tell you about practicing?
I know no more than an hour a day.
He wasn't in any pain at all. We thought an hour or two would be all right.
Well, this doesn't look good. I want to send you down to X-ray and then have a doctor look at it, okay? Right this way.
What about Grant?
No, first we'll do the X-rays.
All right, if we go with him?
Please, I'll show you the way. Come on. Sign me in, Jess, please.
Yes, of course. Listen, do you want me to send for Dr. Chu? He's standing in for Dr. Putnam. He's over at Mercy.
Is he there all day?
Well, he had surgery this morning and consultations this afternoon.
Well, better not bother him yet, but I would like you to send Dr. Dante down to my therapy room to look at the X-rays. Before we do anything, I'd like to get his opinion.
I'll send him up.
Okay, Grant's gonna be sorry to miss out on this one.
Yes, I know. He was very close to the patient.
Oh, very close. But I guess there's nothing we can do. A honeymoon is a honeymoon.
Yeah.
I'll be in my room.
All right.
Thanks.
Mrs. Brewer, Nabby desk. We're going to need some X-rays right away.
Days? And you're all through.
What's this one?
Fine, very important.
Then how come you didn't have one?
I took the lecithin.
Oh. Well, what happened to the days when all the vitamins came in one pill?
Be a good girl and take your pill for Robert.
Yeah, too much for breakfast.
Feeling healthy?
Very.
Yeah. Good. And now I can take you on your daily jog around the park.
Right now?
Well, when you've changed.
Then we can have a real breakfast.
I will even cook.
What about the dishes?
I'll do them too.
Are you feeling all right?
Never felt better.
Then I'd better hurry up and change before you change your mind.
You better. Expecting anyone?
No, you?
Let's see who we've got. Professor, this is a surprise.
Glad I found you in.
Is something wrong? A security problem?
No, no, no. I'm here as Grant's best man, delivering a little something he asked me to deliver.
Oh, what's this?
A gift from Grant to his ushers. They usually hand them out at the bachelor party. But since Grant didn't observe that tradition, I'm delivering them now.
Please, come in and sit down.
How thoughtful of Grant.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, very thoughtful of you too, Professor. I mean, I'm surprised that you would time off from your work for this.
Yes, well, I rather surprised myself a bit. But you know, I've gotten very fond of Grant.
Yes, well, he's certainly fond of you.
I know. But I was very surprised when he asked me to be his best man.
You knew each other before Port Charles, though?
Oh, very casually. But since coming here, he's turned out to be quite a friend. In many ways, he's like the son my late wife and I never had.
Well, I think we're all rather fortunate to have Grant's friendship.
Do you know Celia well?
Oh, yes, I've known her for a long time.
She seems a very nice girl.
Very nice.
Grant hasn't brought her around much, but I'm sure he will now that they're married.
Well, we must all get together for dinner.
Oh, that would be very nice. I hope you don't mind the odd number at the table. Since my wife passed away, I've been a bit of what you might call a loner.
Believe me, we understand. Odd numbers here are no problem. We're rather informal.
Good. Then we must do it very soon. Well, if you'll excuse me, I think I must be getting back.
Your work, of course.
Yes, it's very exciting now that I'm coming to the...
Yes, well, no one's going to be happier than I when you're finished.
I know what you mean. Well, you have your present, and I'll be thinking of that dinner, Mrs. Scorpio.
Well, as soon as Grant gets back, we'll start making plans.
You two have a nice day now.
You too, Professor.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice enough fellow.
Certainly fond of Grant.
It's good he has someone. He seems sort of lonely. Anyway, I'll get into my jogging suit.
I'll be in the comm room.
Hi, I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Did you get a chance to look at them?
Oh, yes. I wanted to make sure before I talk to you.
How serious is it, Doctor?
It's serious enough that he's going to need an orthopedic surgeon. You didn't give the hand time enough to heal, Chris.
All I had to practice.
Well, you practiced too much. We're going to have to move fast now.
You mean another operation?
I'm sorry, son. I don't see any other way. If you want proper use of that hand, you're going to need more surgery.
When?
As soon as possible. The longer we wait, the more complications. The sooner we get it over with, the better.
Well, I'll put a call into Dr. Chu. He's at Mercy, but I'm sure he can rearrange his schedule.
No.
Chris, you heard what the doctor said.
I want Grant.
He's away, honey. I'm sure this doctor's perfectly competent.
Grant is the only one who understands about my piano. Please, Doctor, can't we just wait until he gets back from his honeymoon?
Well, that's a couple of weeks, son. This is a very serious situation. To delay would be a real mistake.
No, I don't care. I'll risk it.
Chris, he said you might lose the use of your hand.
Just doesn't feel right, Mom. I can't do it without Grant. It will not work out right.
Dr. Chu is a very respected doctor, Chris. We can even explain to him about your piano. You can talk to him before surgery if you like.
And remember what Grant said. That surgery that he performed on your hand wasn't even his specialty.
Yeah, he cares, though. He's my friend. I've got to have it.
Chris, listen.
No, I will not listen to you. I will listen to Grant Putnam. He seems to be the only one who understands the situation.
Well, maybe the plane hasn't taken off for Chile yet. Maybe we can still find him. If it's all right with you, let's try it, shall we?
Means that much to you, son?
I'll do anything to get Grant here.
Okay. But you promised me that if we can't locate him, you're going to go ahead with that surgery with this Dr. Chu.
By this afternoon, I promise.
All right. Now, how can we locate him?
I don't know.
Well, the airlines would be the first place to start. I mean, there can't be that many airlines that fly to Chile in the first place.
Well,
At least we'll know whether he left or not.
I've got a better idea. Call Robert Scorpio. He's got a computer in his place. He can get that information in seconds.
You have his number?
I'll get it.
Should we go?
All right, how many miles?
3?
Sounds about right. Don't think I like the sound of that.
Should we be out?
Business hours, getting on. Scorpio.
Yeah, hello, Robert. This is Mark Dante.
Mark, how are you?
Well, at the moment, I'm faced with an emergency.
Medical?
Yes, I'm trying to track down Grant Putnam before he leaves for Chile on his honeymoon. He's desperately needed for an emergency surgery here.
Okay, what can I do?
Well, I was thinking about that computer of yours. You couldn't check with the airlines about who's on what flights, could you?
Sure, I have direct access to, well, all New York State manifests. What airlines are you on?
Oh, so I don't know.
Okay, well, there can't be too many going to Chile. Let's see what I can come up with here.
Well, shall I call you back?
No, hang on. I should be able to do it right from here. Let's think. He'll be going from New York. Well, let's try Kennedy first. Right. Okay. Hang on. Coming up. We have 2 flights. One at noon, one at 8 p.m.
Uh-huh. Why don't you try the noon one first?
Okay. Nope. No Putnams.
Uh-huh. What about the 8 p.m.?
Hang a go there. Bingo. We got lucky. I think, yeah. Dr. and Mrs. Grant Putnam.
Well, I assume they're holed up in a New York hotel somewhere, then.
Probably.
Can you help me?
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm really not tied in to hotels. Take too long. Only transportation manifests. Look, if I can make a suggestion here.
Please, by all means.
Try the Quartermaines. If anybody would know where they are, they would.
Happy? I'd be content to stay here forever.
So would I.
General Hospital will continue in a moment.